Please like and subscribe to our channel and click the bell icon to get new video updates.
I want to tell you about a story that happened where I grew up in Nairobi, which is a fair distance from here. And I'm going to take you back almost 40 years ago. It's always shocking to me when I realize how old I really am. But anyway, I was a teenager, 1977. And I was crazy about an American musician, and her name was Millie Jackson. I don't know if any of you know Millie Jackson, but she's the one who sang, "If loving you is wrong, I don't want to be right." And I can't sing, but I adored that song. And I don't know why, because I was a very sweet, well brought up Catholic girl and all that. But there was something about that song that just spoke to something in me, Anyway, 1977. And I hear in the news that Millie Jackson is coming to Kenya to perform. We'd never heard of such a thing. We didn't even know if it is real or it's one of those con people, doing some show, doing something. But we decided, and this was a whole neighborhood committee where we lived, that we're going to sneak out. And it was the first time we'd ever done such a thing, but we were going to sneak out. I was 16. And we were going to sneak out and go and see the show. So lots of plans afoot. And I tell you, it was serious planning, okay? And because where we lived, it was like a row. I don't know how to describe it in English terms, but anyway, it was like a row of maisonettes. Does that make sense? Anyways, the two, double-story height, but they're all connected to each other. Yeah. And we were about six different houses on the row that were, that we were all going to break out that night, okay? So, and we all had plans because, I don't know if you know this, but Nairobi used to have a reputation. Thank God it's kind of died away, but it used to be called Nairobi. It was very unsafe. So all the houses, there were very high walls, the very, very high walls. And when I say high, like 10 feet high at least. And and so sneaking out involved removing the glass from the louvers on the second floor, which I never know, because in the UK, I think second floor is first floor. It's mezzanine. I don't know. The floor above this one. Anyway, so we had to remove the louvers in the afternoon very gently so that we don't break, any of them. And then tie these sheets from our bed. All this was planned, Anyway, so tie these sheets from our bed and somehow propel ourselves, which now I understand is called abseiling, but anyway, propel ourselves through these louvers and onto this sort of wall that sort of dissected up, the houses. So onto this wall, and then lower the sheet such that we would be able to reach it when we come back. Anyway, so get onto this wall, and somehow, so I can't remember now. It was there was a guy who lived next door, was lame, his foot was 6 inches shorter, 1 foot. One leg was so short. And I can't remember why it was him who was responsible for lowering us once we got onto the wall. He had to, hold us up. And anyway, cut a long story short, we all made it. That says something about the power of neighborhoods that work together, okay? We all made it. There was a few little risky ones. We had to go help a bit more, but we made it. Anyway, so we go off to this concert, and it was in the new Kenya International Conference Center, and it was this huge hall. And the turnout, I think the Americans overestimated the ability of Kenyans to sneak out. Our parents were not the type to say yes to, this kind of foreign, disruption of our culture. Okay, so we got what people pay a lot of money for, and we were right at the front. And we danced all night. It was fantastic. Because I've heard the whistle, I'll just say this. We made it back. It was long, it was hard, it was arduous. We made it back. At least in my family, we did. One did get caught. But in my family, we did. The only thing is the following morning, my father's reading a newspaper at the breakfast table. And on the cover is this Millie Jackson, and she's wearing a white sort of suit and big sweat stains. Big sweat stains. And my father is just saying how terrible this is. People come, they look at the culture they bring, it's disgusting. Look at this, blah, 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 blah. And we're just fascinated at the photograph, because right there in the front, all of us, I recognize every single person on that row cheering on Millie Jackson. And that's my story. Thanks for sharing.
Muthoni, everybody!